Okay, so this is my story unlimited. I made it basically about going to a haunted house, and you're able to make certain decisions, and depending on the decision that you make, you gain or lose lives, and you're able to encounter or make different decisions along the way. So let's start in my main function. So you start in here. We're setting lives and money to 100. So, and then we're gonna send it to update so that whenever we wanna update the lives and the money, depending on the decisions that you make, it'll send it. It'll stay accurate. So then we start here. It'll print this out, right? We sent that to update, and this is our first encounter. You enter the house. You have two decisions, either A or B, and then the decision that you make gets put into action, and then you'll enter this while loop. While you're in this while loop, it's basically correcting the user's input. So depending if what the user inputs, checks if it's A, B, or C, and then if it's not one of those options in that list, then it'll keep you in that loop, right? But then let's say they do choose the right thing. They either put A, B, or C, then that depends, right? You go down the list from there. And then, all right, let's say you put A to 5, what was A? Right, so to feed, right, all right, bet. So we go to this function where we send the life and the money so everything stays updated. So then you open the supplies. So basically, you go A, open the supplies, then you get another new options, and then it sends those options into this while loop, depending on what the user chose. Same thing to check if what the user put was accurate, and if it's not one of the options, you stay in this while loop. But then let's say you choose either holy water or sage, you stay in this if statement. Just so I made it the same so that I don't have to do it so many times. But if you choose holy water or sage, that's what the or was for. This is comparing if what the user put is in the list, then we're updating the lives and the money, and then we're gonna send it to update right here. Yeah, we're gonna return the lives and money, and then it will pop that up. And then if you put sage, there's only 3 options. So if it's not in the if, then it's gonna be in the else. So then, and the candles. So if it's not holy water or sage, then it's gonna be the candle, and then it'll also change our lives and money like that. Print that out. So then we go back here. Then we get our first. Yeah, we're in the main. Our first encounter. Yeah, all right, let's say you chose B, which was to ignore and walk away. You get right here, the floorboard snapped. So then because of that, I put -1 life, but you won't be able to go back and choose something for supplies. Then let's say you quit, then I have you run away, and then you exit with the SYS to import. So then you quit the game right there. Right, and then let's say you're still alive. You say a ghost appears in the hallway, another in this if statement. Then we have user correction, again, either A or B. If it's A, you don't lose any lives. If it's B, you lose a life. And right here, we send you to the fight function. Right, so we know the lives, the HP, which is the health, is 100. Then we have the damage is 5. So every time you would go into the fight, you -5 HP. Right. Oh yeah. Yep, right here. Then we're updating our lives and our money and make sure everything is straight. Then if we're still alive, another encounter. Walking the hallway, there's hanging swinging chains. Then I had a user input numbers this time, so I'm asking the user how many chains that they dodge between 0 and 6, and then let's say this is user correction. Make sure they putting in a number between 0 and 6, so that if they do put in a letter, you get stay in this while. If you do put in something that's not 0 or 6, you stay in this while. Right? So then let's say they do put something in between 0 and 6. If they do they put something greater, if they put something less than 5, then you get away safely. You don't lose any lives. But if you do put something greater than 5, so 6 and up, you get tangled. You lose 2 lives. So then lives is -2, and then we're gonna send this new value of lives to update so that everything stays up to date. And then this is one of our last encounters. So you find a pile of skulls for a ritual, right? Make this little fun. So then you get into this while loop. Same thing. Allow the users to put in a number. This time I have a float in there. So depending on, I'm asking the users to put in another number between 0 and 6, like last time, making sure that it's a number with the id digit. And then we make sure that we convert whatever they put in into an int. So that's what that is right there. And we want to make sure that if it's not between 0 and 6, you stay in this while. Let's say they do put a number between 0 and 6. You have 2 different outputs. Oh, I also have cost. Yeah, so we're saying gold. So we're saying for the ritual, the witch does need gold. So how much gold does the witch demand per skull? So I make sure that you're able to put in a float. Since we're doing money here, I allow the user to put in a float. So I converted whatever they put in to a float, and then I multiplied how many skulls they picked up, how much the gold is worth, and then I subtracted that from their money, because they can't be getting all that cheese out of nowhere, right? So let's say they pick up something less than 5 skulls, right? You keep it pushing, you're good. If you get anything more, so that's why it's else. If you get anything more than 5, then you lose 3 lives. Basically, game over. So depending on filming, you keep it pushing, depending on the choices you make. And then this is the last thing right here. Allow the user to put in a string. So yeah, I printed out the names, I made this list, and then we want to make sure that they put in the right name, or they have to put in a name. They can't put in no number. They can't put in anything else but what's in the list. So that's how you get in this while loop. And then let's say once they do put in the right name, you win. If not, you lose. You go right here to the else, and then game over.